everyone, and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing another speed build and yet another challenge of every room is a different city. So I base this on the challenge, every room is a different pack, every room is a different color, every room is a different sim. I know a lot of YouTubers have been doing these videos lately, so I already did one of these every room is a different city videos, so I'll link that below if you guys are interested. But this is the second one. Honestly, it was so much fun, I decided to do it twice. And for this one, I wanted to branch out and not do as many European cities, do some other cities from different countries around the world. So in today's build, we're going to be doing Marrakesh, Morocco. We're going to be doing Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. We're going to be doing Tokyo from Japan, Hong Kong, as well as kind of Paris or French country vibe from France. So we're starting here with Marrakesh in the living room. So this build is the original Munch house. Munch? Anyways, and they're actually going to have to move out of this house, I realized, because I got rid of a lot of the bedrooms, as you'll see later in the video. But just starting off here in the living room, I wanted to do a Moroccan kind of vibe. And it turns out that Moroccan interior decorating, there was a lot of pretty usable items from The Sims. So here I am just pulling out everything that kind of inspired me. I wanted to do a more neutral sofa. I wanted to put in a lot of seating so that a lot of Sims could hang out here. Some other things that I looked up that were Moroccan was a rug, kind of similar to this. I think the pattern's a little bit different for really a true Moroccan rug, but it looked pretty similar, so I chose this one, as well as stools, and then brass, or kind of some warm colored metal lamps. So here I am just pulling out everything I could find that I wanted to use in this room. It was a little bit overwhelming, honestly, and for this build, I am doing some cities that I haven't actually been to, so I've never been to Morocco. So you guys will have to let me know in the comments below if you happen to be from any of these countries or any of these cities, if I did a good job or not. Because a lot of these I just looked up online. They seem like really awesome places, and I'd love to go at some point in the future, but I haven't actually been there yet. So if I got it completely wrong, I'm sorry if it's completely wrong. But looking at a lot of the photos online, I feel like a lot of the Moroccan rooms had really cool archways, really cool room shapes. So I decided to get a little crazy here with the walls, which took me a while. I'm not sure why I decided to do that, but I put in this cool little window seat area with some mirrors and some archways, and then I added some other archways on the other side of this living room as well. And then for the center part here, use that rug, put in some cool curtains, just some general, TV, family room things. And then as far as the table, using these mirrored tables on the end here. This room is actually connected to the dining room, so I put in this little half wall to act as a bit of a separator, and then got really overwhelmed with the seating choices, honestly. So you'll see me, I switched out the couches for these ones here from the Island Adventure Pack, which looked pretty cool. And then I wanted to go for neutral, but still colorful. So you'll see me go a little crazy with some of the pillows and some of the other accessories later in the build here. I do get rid of some of the seating options, don't worry. I was just trying to see what all the options were at the beginning here. So stay tuned to the end of the video for screenshots of the finished rooms. So I went a little bit crazy with all of the pillows. I was trying to cover up some of the standard Sims pillows because I didn't like them that much. And then I also went crazy with the plants. So stay tuned for the screenshots for those. I added this little entryway in there too. I feel like having a house with an entryway makes it feel a lot more realistic. So I added this neutral rug, this cool mirror that's actually custom content, and it was labeled Marrakesh, so I figured that was perfect. Then just some standard coat rack, shoes, your standard entryway clutter. Then moving on to the next room, the dining room that's attached to the other side of this larger room. So for this room, I decided to do Rio de Janeiro from Brazil. So I have spent quite a bit of time in Brazil, and definitely the thing that I liked best when I was there was the people. So the Brazilian people, they're just so friendly, they're so energetic, I feel like they're just really full of life, and that's what I remember most. So I really wanted to mimic that in this room, so I put in a bunch of different musical instruments and a microphone so that, people can hang out together, they can entertain themselves. I also added in a bar, so that, people can, again, have a party, have a drink, just have a really fun time in this dining room. And then I had a kind of a tough time here figuring out a wall color. You'll see me struggling a little bit with the curtains and with the paint because I wanted a lot of big plants, and it just, I don't know, it just wasn't looking right. You know, when you just try really hard on something and just whatever you do, it just doesn't seem quite right. That was this room, honestly. So what I ended up doing was just doing more of a neutral wood for the bar and the table. I put in a bunch of plants for a bit of a tropical vibe. Since Brazil does have a lot of really cool rainforests and other natural beauty, I wanted to make sure we had a lot of plants in here. And then I wanted a lot of bright colors as well. Since, you know, it's a tropical place, there's really cool beaches, really cool. I feel like when you think of Brazil, you think of, you know, the parrots, all those cool animals in the rainforest. So I wanted a lot of bright colors in here. And then for this room, like I said, I love the Brazilian people, so I put in some just different hobbies or different things for the Sims in this room to do. So we do add a soccer ball as well as some pennants in here, right? Because Brazil is super good at soccer. I feel like everyone from Brazil likes soccer quite a bit. And we had the musical instruments in here, as well as a stereo, so the Sims can dance and just overall have a good time in this room. And I used one of my favorite rugs from the Jungle Adventure pack. I just think this rug is gorgeous, and I love the colors. I ended up changing the wall paint to blue. I wanted a bit of a more of a beach vibe. I think the leaves were just too dark, so I like the blue a little bit more. I still don't feel like this room was 100%. But I didn't know quite what else to do with it. So we moved on to the office. And conveniently, this room already came base game with the floor kind of painted two different colors like this, which I thought was pretty cool because for the office, we were doing Tokyo in Japan. And I wanted to go with more of a traditional kind of Zen Japanese experience. Because when I think of Japan, you know, I think of because when I think of Japan, I think of more of the Zen, kind of, you know, the Zen garden, waterfalls, all the beautiful nature. So I wanted to mimic that in here a little bit. And to me, this kind of looked like yin and yang, which I know is also a Chinese symbol. The other thing that inspired me for Japan was kind of businessmen, businesswomen. I feel like obviously Japan is kind of a powerhouse economy, as well as I feel like the workers there just work super hard. I always think of kind of Japanese CEOs or Japanese companies that are really successful. So I use these business chairs and some really big desks. I thought it'd be really cool to put children's desks in here and kind of make it a family office. But then I realized that we're not doing a children's bedroom, so that wouldn't make any sense to have a space for them in the office. So we ended up getting rid of those desks. And then something about this room just didn't feel right. I've never been to Japan, so definitely let me know about this room because I wasn't really sure what to do. But we ended up changing the walls to a browner color, adding some curtains, adding some more Japanese looking artwork. I think it made it look a little bit better. It just looked a little bit off before. I wasn't sure what to do with it. And then we added a bonsai tree since that's already something that was in the game. So let me know what you guys think of the office. Moving on, I put in a tiny area in the hallway with this painting that to me looks like a map of the world. So I figured that that'd be a cool area to, you know, emphasize that this is a global house. And then moving on to the kitchen, we were doing the kitchen as Hong Kong. So again, I haven't been to Hong Kong, so let me know below if I did a good job or if this is way off. But my inspiration for Hong Kong was more of a neutral color. I wanted a little bit darker, more modern vibes, and I wanted some wood accents or some red accents. When I think of Hong Kong, I think of the color red. So things are pretty dark. I used a lot of blacks and grays in this room with a couple pops of red and then just a few plants as well because everybody loves plants. I said, so this is another room that I kind of struggled with. I find it's actually pretty hard when I haven't been to these areas to try to get the vibe off the internet. So for Hong Kong, I wanted this to be really neat and modern, so I don't add too much into this room. And then I wanted the furniture to be pretty clean lines, so I used these cabinets. These are the same cabinets that I actually used for New York City in my last build, which is kind of interesting. But then I also wanted some pops of red, since that's, when I think of Hong Kong, that's the color I think of. And then I wanted some plants and different wood accents, so we have the little wood drain board, as well as some different plants in here. And then since Hong Kong's a city, you know, they might not have a lot of space in the apartments and such, so I also put in a lot of cabinets, a lot of store space, tried to really use this small kitchen to the best of this Sim's ability to be able to store all their food and other kitchen items. And then lastly, I wanted to put some neon signs in since Hong Kong is a huge city, and then I feel like the photos I've seen of Hong Kong have been of it at night, and all the buildings are lit up, and there's just neon signs everywhere, and it looks super cool. So I went through all the signs to pull out any that seemed kind of like neon. There weren't any that worked super well, but I just added a couple in here for accent pieces as well. Okay, moving on to the bedroom. So like I said, the Munch family's gonna have to move out of here because I think this was like a 3-bedroom, and now it's down to a 1-bedroom. But for the bedroom, a little trip back to Europe to Paris or Paris. So for Paris, I really wanted to be very classic and elegant. So I was going for a lot of kind of white or more neutral furniture with gold accents. I really went a little wild with the white and gold theme in this room, honestly. I'm not so sure about how this one turned out. Like I said, for some reason, this build was a lot harder than the first one I did. I don't know why. Because I've spent quite a bit of time in France, so maybe that's what made it harder, is I couldn't really find anything in The Sims that was exactly what I was looking for. So what I did was I ended up just pulling out some of these more traditional, classic-looking furniture pieces, and then pulling out all the fancy artwork that I could find and trying to put gold frames on them. So that was my strategy for this room. But the other thing I wanted to put in was mirrors. So for that, I was inspired by Versailles. The Palace of Versailles and their big hall of mirrors, so I figured this room needed some large mirrors. And then I went through all of the accessories and just pulled out anything that seemed French to me. So here we have some sunflowers, a painting of a chicken, and a painting of some pears, which just all looked pretty classic French. And then I was trying something a little funky with the closet. I don't know why I try to get so creative in these things, and then all of a sudden it's 2 hours later. I've only done one room. But anyways, I ended up switching the closet back to just a traditional closet. And then I pulled out some more fun items here. So I pulled out some little wine bottles, as well as a snail statue, which I just thought was hilarious. A little escargot. So I also added in a fireplace in here. Again, just going for a more traditional theme. And then as far as accents, I put a lot of perfume in here. Obviously, Paris makes a lot of perfume. The French are known for that. And then I also put in some romantic accessories here, a rose, a candle, since everyone thinks that Paris is the city of love. So to complete it, I just added a dresser over here, something a little more modern, and then moved the wine off the fireplace. Honestly, I don't think anyone from France would probably keep wine in their bedroom, and definitely not on the fireplace, because that would probably ruin your wine. But I just thought the opportunity to put wine in the French bedroom was too good to pass up. And then lastly, moving on to the bathroom. So for the bathroom, we're staying in France because I feel like it's a little mean to have a whole country or a whole city have only the bathroom. So we're staying in France, but for the bathroom, we're going for more of a French country vibe. And I just love this style of interior decorating. I think it's so pretty and so fun. So some things I was inspired of for this was some natural tiles, kind of some natural wood, a lot of copper, so you'll see I use that in the mirrors and the sinks, as well as this tub, which is just gorgeous. I love this tub. The other thing is the color white, as well as a lot of flowers, so we end up putting some sunflowers in here, as well as just some other flower arrangements. And then just some cozy accents, some towels, rugs, things like that, since it is a bathroom. So this is more of the rural French vibe versus the other room, which is a little bit more of the city, a little fancier French vibe, but I like how they both play together. So I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
To all the better days when I used to be young and free. I remember her like it was yesterday. She was so beautiful to me. In my mind sometimes I'll run away to this time back in history. She reminds me of the summertime, way back in 2003. I've been chilling on the coast with my homegirl, the palm trees and the time moving slow, girls. Back to my place, hey, you can call it home, girl. Pina coladas on tap, we alone, girl. Back to all the better days when I used to be young and free. I remember her like it was yesterday. She was so beautiful to me. In my mind sometimes I'll run away to this time back in history. She reminds me of the summertime, way back in 2003.